I typically don't do this a lot, but I think this is a start. So I really want to showcase something cool, yet also at the same time to use this platform as a way to demo, to practice, whatever you may call it, right? I really want to keep this really, really casual. And this also helps me to think of different ways on showcasing different technologies, do simple hacks or solutioning just to prove a value that you can also easily do it yourself. Today, I just want to showcase the use of Zoom webhooks together with Workspace Reservation. If you are not familiar with Workspace Reservation, you can basically take a look at the link. If not, it's essentially a platform that allows end users to book a space. They reserve where they want to sit, go to that space, check in, use it, check out, and there you go, right? So it's a form of facility booking platform that allows organizations to design different spaces for people to choose how and what they want to work with. So one thing that really bugs me is that you can only know if the space is booked using the app. Typically, if let's say I'm not holding on to the app and I go to the space, I should be able to tell which of the spaces has already been booked. There should be a form of a physical indicator. So it can be in the form of a light indicator to give different cues or the status, whether the space has been booked, is it being in use, or it's free, right? So I just want to use a very simple way to demonstrate the use of webhooks and also some equipment that you can get outside or what I can get within my own space, and this is essentially my home office. I have a key light mini. So essentially a key light mini is to illuminate, give me better light coverage to create better ambience when I'm doing my meetings, my webinars. So key light mini has been a great help, and it's actually connected via the Wi-Fi so that I can control using the app or Stream Deck that I have. So over here, once I actually click a button, it's on, and another click is off. So what's going to happen is I'm going to run through a very simple demo where I use the Zoom client, access the Workspace Reservation, book a space, this thing will light up, cancel the reservation, and the light goes off. So now let us switch gear to this. So before we really go into the demonstration, I would just like to showcase that Zoom has also revamped its documentation page. So right now to me, this is a much better experience as compared to what you may have seen in the past. This is a much cleaner design, and it clearly tells me what is available from the developer platform. A few different approaches that I can look at is, how do you build with Zoom? Basically, there are those SDKs available and solutions that you can embed. You can build into Zoom using things like Zoom apps, Teams chat apps. If you have not seen Teams chat, you really have to go and see it. And Zoom rooms. And lastly is to integrate. So there are a few ways on how you can integrate using OAuth, server-to-server apps for internal apps, and also one of the latest service, which is QSS, quality of service subscription. Today I'm interested more in the API layer, or also at the same time the webhooks. As you can see, even though this doesn't really show much, but essentially all the services that we have, it is also a product-led or purposeful built API service made available to end users so that they can actually look at different ways to use APIs and webhooks to automate certain events, certain activities to make their life easier. So let's straight away jump into the references. And for Workspace Reservation, it falls under meetings. So over here, let's click on webhooks. At the side, you will see that there are different category, or you can name it, objects. What I'm interested in is actually Workspace. So when I click Workspace, there are those operations or events that will be triggered whenever it happens. So there are things like create, delete, update, check in, check out. What I'm interested as part of the demo is to be able to receive events for creation and deletion. So just for the sake of looking at the payload, it is pretty standard of what you'll receive from the body, right? Basically the events, what is the name of the events, the timestamp, and within the payload, what are the details that are available in terms of, the account ID, workspace ID, start time, end time, topic, and who is it reserved for, right? All right, so after going through this, let's take a look at the next few steps. So I think step number 1 is about signing into your account, going to the app marketplace and create a app type that allows you to subscribe to events. For the purpose of this, I'm just going to create a webhook only app type. And over here, I already have something that's already created. So let's just click on it. I've already provided all the basic information. In terms of the features, let me just quickly click on it and scroll through because you'll see some of the secrets, but it's fine because I'm just going to take this down after this demo itself, right? So you can then enable event subscription, create your subscription and subscribe to the events, right? For the purpose of this, I also have used the webhook sample app that is provided on GitHub. It's a public repo. It's actually done by one of my colleagues and also managed by one of my colleagues there as well. Part of the app type is that you need to provide a notification endpoint URL. This is to allow Zoom to validate whether this is a legit endpoint and also at the same time whether is this a live endpoint as well whenever Zoom sends the events based on what you have subscribed. Part of the step is to actually validate. And for me, I am running the sample right now currently on my local machine. And in order for me to expose the app, I'm using a reverse proxy, which is using nrock. Over here, based on that, nrock provides you with a public endpoint. You then put in the endpoint and validate that. As I mentioned, this is the app I'm using from Zoom. So over here, it provides you a very simple way on how you can actually deploy the app. And also at the same time, based on the logic, you can then write in your business logic on what you want whenever you receive the events from Zoom, right? So over here, I have already written the logic that I want. So if you can see over here as I open up Visual Studio. So over here, based on once it's been validated, it goes into a different flow. I want to be able to filter out based on Workspace reservation created and also for Workspace reservation deleted. And once I am able to filter those string, I can then proceed to use what's available from the Keylight Mini to be able to send a put over to turn on and off the light. So let's switch right now back to our screen. So at the same time, just showing you this also is to show you that this, the one on the bottom left, terminal is actually running right now to actually expose the local app using nrock. And these are the details that nrock will actually provide you with. So there are many benefits that you can use nrock for, basically to expose local apps for testing purposes, or perhaps like this purpose where you need a public URL for certain validation. So right now, as you can see, nrock is currently live, is online. Just to inspect, there's nothing. For the status, you can actually look at the configuration, the matrix and all. So let's just get started with the demo since everything is really all set up properly. So before I go into the web client, just want to show you again, this is actually done live. So now I'm holding on to the Keylight Mini. It's not turned on yet. You can see that I have another camera. I'm just going to place the Keylight Mini in front of the camera so that when I perform the actions on the client, you'll be able to see this turn on and off in real time. So I'm just going to place it right here right now. And let's go into the Zoom client. So over here, I already have the Workspace reservation app open up. Right here, you can see, I have a basic floor. Essentially, I wouldn't have to say much. This is actually my house layout. I wouldn't have to tell you where I stay. Decent place, decent size. And the place that I've indicate the space is exactly where I'm standing right now. So as you can see over here, if let's say I want to book this space, I can just click, look at the details. Once I'm happy with the details, I can then proceed to click reserve. What's happening right now, once it's reserved, I will receive an event on the sample app, and filtering through based on the event string, the light is then turned on. So just to prove a point, I'm just going to take the light from here, and here you go. So likewise, going back to the client, I can see the reservation that I just made a couple of seconds ago, and I'm just going to delete it. And click delete and delete again. So there you go. So the event has been fired and triggered, and also based on what I've subscribed, I'm then able to run that logic that I have defined in the application itself. So hopefully this is something that you have taken away, that there are different possibilities of how you can actually innovate, use simple services, and also build some interesting stuff, right? Not just for this kind of scenario, but there are many things that you can actually think out of the box. Don't treat Zoom as just a video platform, or just providing you with audio, video, or what you may like to call as WebRTC services. But there's a lot more you can do beyond just these core services and innovate around those. So hopefully you enjoy this video, and I look forward to make more videos on different interesting ideas that I may think of along the way. And thank you so much for your time.